And then what did you make of Sophie Cunningham's flagrant foul on JC towards the end?
It was a flagrant foul.
You think it's like defending Caitlin or defending the team, or how do you view just how it opened?
I view it as a flagrant foul.
Wow, that's about the game too.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys came for basketball.
Yeah,
Let's talk about basketball.
Yeah.
Come on now.
What do you think of just how you all were able to pull away in the second half, Caitlin in particular?
We're going to the Commissioner Cup Championship.
Let's go!
That's pretty exciting. Y'all want to talk about that? Let's talk about that.
What do you think, again, in the second half?
The WNBA is standing on the edge of its own downfall. Caitlin Clark, the league's brightest star, is rumored to be reaching her breaking point, and the talk of her walking away is only getting louder. This goes beyond rookie treatment. It's about on-court hits brushed aside, a league that seems threatened by its own centerpiece, and a media machine quick to turn the blame on her. Now, a bold rumor is spreading. Clark could be preparing a move so explosive it would pull back the curtain on the league's biggest weaknesses and leave the WNBA scrambling to hold onto the spotlight she created.
WNBA record. This is her second season. And you put the numbers together, that's like 10 seasons. That girl did it in 10 seasons. That means she had one a season. Caitlin Clark is... when Caitlin Clark gets to 10 seasons, she's going to have 100 of these. And y'all can't get a girl her roses. Now, I don't like the fact that she be getting woke because she don't want all these lesbians to be mad at it. At the end of the day, is the woman putting in the work, she's putting in the work.
To see why leaving is even a possibility, you have to understand the size of Caitlin Clark's impact. The numbers don't just speak, they roar. Before her, the WNBA was a niche league barely scraping for coverage. After she arrived, it turned into must-watch television. She became a one-woman surge of energy, filling arenas that once sat half-empty and driving sellouts across the map. Not just in Indiana, but in every city she touched down in. Opponents even shifted games into NBA arenas just to handle the flood of fans chasing the chance to see her play.
This is all going according to plan. This is ideal. Caitlin Clark is holding up her end by being awesome and by being a trash-talking jerk on the court. Love it. Her teammates are holding up their end by having her back. The other players in the league are holding up their end by not liking her. Perfect. Couldn't have written a better script. Caitlin is talking trash to this girl's hard fouling her. Her teammate Sophie Cunningham, who got a black belt in Taekwondo at the age of 6, she's like, I will F you guys up. All of it's great, and Caitlin's a killer. 10 out of 10.
Her jersey instantly became the top seller across all sports. TV ratings on major networks exploded, climbing by triple digits. But the clearest proof of her impact came when she missed time with an injury. League viewership collapsed by 55% overnight. Think about that. One player sits out, and more than half the audience disappears. She isn't just a star on a roster, she is the market, single-handedly driving revenue, even covering the paychecks of rivals who seem to resent her for it.
Caitlin Clark is driving the WNBA insane. It's to the point that she may need to step away from the WNBA, have a billionaire come in that has the money to prove a point, and say, Caitlin, I'll pay you $50 million just to see if the WNBA can make it without you. Let's go create a complete different league and expose the hell out of the WNBA just to embarrass this Angel Reese girl that Jameel Hill just said she could go down as a Michael Jordan of WNBA.
Yeah.
For all the money and attention she delivered, Clark's introduction to the league looked less like a celebration and more like a setup. Opponents quickly revealed their main strategy: test how much punishment she could take before breaking. This wasn't just physical basketball, it was targeted. Night after night became a reel of hip checks, off-ball shoves, and reckless closeouts that pushed the limits of fair play. The breaking point came with Marina Mabrey's infamous hit, a full-body shove that sent Clark crashing to the floor on a play that had nothing to do with the ball.
Well, I will say this, when Caitlin Clark was out, they lost 55% of their viewership. So, basically, Caitlin Clark is paying all their salaries.
Pretty much.
I mean, at the end of the day, you can hate her as much as you want, but she's brought in millions of fucking dollars. So you should be kissing her ass.
And that kind of defeated the purpose of Angel Reese's argument of she's like, hey, it's not just Caitlin Clark that is bringing all the viewership to the WNBA. It's like, well, it definitely is. It's like it kind of proved that with the viewership rating being down that she significantly increases viewership with
Dude, they try so hard to compare her to Caitlin Clark. They try. So.
It was the kind of hit you'd expect in hockey, not basketball. But what really drove critics mad was Clark's response. She didn't lash out, didn't whine, didn't even flinch. She simply stood up, shook it off, and kept playing. Instead of respecting her composure, rivals twisted it into arrogance, which only added fuel to the fire and made the next blow even harsher. The message was unmistakable: you won't outshine us. And if skill can't stop you, force will.
The Fever and Sun hold a brawl and a basketball game breaks out. This was something. Caitlin Clark, without question, gets raked across the face. I think she gets poked in the eye, but it's difficult to tell.
If you're the Indiana Fever, you cannot stand by and let that happen. They need to make it clear to the officials. If you're going to let this happen, then we're going to stand up for our player and make a mess of the game, and you're going to have a big mess on your hands. So you need to stand up for this. You need to do something about this.
You've just learned with definitive data and beyond question that Caitlin Clark controls more than half the audience for the entire WNBA.
But the bruises on the court were only half the story. The officials, paid to protect players, were nowhere to be found. While Clark was being hammered like a human pinata, referees swallowed their whistles. Clear, heavy fouls were brushed off as common, sending one message loud and clear: it's open season. And the WNBA front office, the very body that should guard its brightest star, stayed silent. They moved faster to police dress codes than to address the systematic targeting of the player carrying their league.
A lot of us were expecting some sort of dip since Caitlin Clark has been out with injury, but I don't think all of us were expecting the entire viewership of the entire WNBA to be down. And this tweet from Christine Brennan really stuck out to me. She said one player gets injured and more than half the TV audience for the entire league disappears. Has any other athlete ever had that kind of impact on a sport? Golf without Tiger definitely dropped precipitously on occasion, but not like this. This news is alarming for the league, and it's alarming for the league because this is such a crucial year for the WNBA.
That silence sparked a fan-driven crusade online, the Protect Caitlin Clark movement. Viewers turned into armchair referees, dissecting replays frame by frame, circling cheap screens, and shouting for flagrant calls that never came. It exposed an ugly hypocrisy at the league's core. They wanted her star power, her ticket sales, her ratings, but wouldn't grant her the basic protection every player deserves. This wasn't just incompetence, it felt deliberate, a quiet approval of the on-court punishment she was forced to endure.
I am sick and tired of the way they are treating my girl, Caitlin Clark. I am here to propose a solution. I think they need an enforcer. You know, someone who comes off the bench to kind of lay the smack down on an opposing team member. I want to get the word out to the Indiana Fever that I am available. I'm ready to identify as whatever I need to in order to get the job. They need someone like me. Why? Because I'm not afraid of any 6-foot tall lesbian. I work out. Now, I have a couple of real good go-to moves in my bag of tricks.
And just when it seemed the situation couldn't get more twisted, the media piled on, blaming the very player being targeted. Instead of condemning reckless fouls, commentators spun a narrative that the hostility was Clark's own fault. Too confident. Too vocal. She brought it on herself. The logic is absurd. This is professional sports, a world built on ego, competition, and mind games. Michael Jordan was relentless with his trash talk. Larry Bird broke opponents mentally before tip-off. Yet when Clark shows the same edge, suddenly it's a crime.
Oh, it's just shit I don't like. A snitch, nigga, it's that shit I don't like.
You know, they get into it a bit here. Lexi Hall now gets it.
Oh, bitch, nigga.
Sheldon's face. Caitlin Clark hits the deck.
Sneak decides that's what I don't like.
Sheldon and Cunningham are getting into it.
A snitch, nigga, that's that shit I don't like.
Caitlin Clark with a few words with JC Sharp.
Legends like Jordan and Bird had their antics praised as part of their fire. But when Caitlin Clark shows the same edge, it's painted as some unwritten violation that warrants retaliation. Fans saw the double standard clearly, and it was infuriating. Analysts twisted themselves into knots to excuse cheap shots, breaking down her posture or attitude as if she was asking for it. It was like blaming the mailbox for being hit by a drunk driver. The message came through loud and ugly. In the WNBA, If a woman shows confidence and backs it up, she's treated as fair game.